Welcome to Forecast Save and Improve Lives. We can identify those patients today who will be critical tomorrow. The goal is to personalize healthcare in early life. My name is Thorsten Waloschek. I'm the CEO of NeoPrediX, and I dedicated the last 20 years of my life to bring new and innovative products to market to give babies the best possible start into life. I've learned many times during this journey that every baby is unique, but now they're predictable. The first hours and days of a newborn life will determine the outcome for the rest of the life. Risks that are not identified early on will result in long-term consequences and cost. Newborn morbidity and mortality is still high. Each year, 2.4 million babies. That's 5 babies per minute. So while I talk here, 45 babies will die after birth, and many more will suffer from long-term consequences. Illnesses and side effects that can be avoided if identified early on. Again, what happens in the first hours and days of life will determine the future. I would like to take this opportunity to show you a revolution in neonatal medicine and introduce you the first neonatal clinical decision support platform that allows to forecast maternal, perinatal, and neonatal disease progression. Honestly, this is like forecasting the lottery numbers for tomorrow night. Now, you just need to pick the right numbers and you win. In our case, with this forecast, 140 million newborns each year globally, and as many as 220 million pregnant women will benefit. Our goal is to reduce mortality, morbidity, avoid long-term consequences, while also controlling and reducing healthcare costs globally. We are not a one-trick pony. Our pipeline is fully filled with exciting opportunities that address a total available market of $25 billion annually. Let's start with newborn jaundice. 60% of all newborns are affected by hyperbilirubinemia. If not detected and treated, that can cause kernicterus and permanent brain damage. That is 2.4 million newborns at risk every year just here in the United States. Because newborns are discharged quite early, 160,000 babies are readmitted every year in the United States because of jaundice within 48 hours after discharge. That will cost the US healthcare system about $10 billion over 10 years. You can help us to identify babies early and forecast their bilirubin progression and thus give back millions of dollars to the hospital system for better use. In fact, let's make sure that babies are treated well and hospitals become more profitable. More importantly, we keep talking about numbers. But my purpose here is really, you can contribute to reduce the number of children suffering from permanent brain damage to 0. There's no reason why any baby should suffer from kernicterus. Now let's move on to sepsis. About 400,000 babies here in the United States are born every year prematurely. 80% of them are treated with antibiotics in order to avoid sepsis. Now, this is a good thing, but the number one side effect of the overuse of antibiotics is hearing loss, hearing deficit. Up to 15,000 babies, newborns, are affected in the United States every year. You can help us to identify those babies that do not require dosages of antibiotics and thus avoid unnecessary hearing loss. The ultimate nightmare of all of us parents, sudden infant death. It is not that sudden. Globally, 15,000 babies die each year of so-called sudden infant death, 3,600 in the United States alone. You can be part of the solution to forecast those newborns that have cardiovascular deficits and need 24/7 vital signs monitoring, and with that, save their lives. Our algorithms can also be applied for maternal health. Preeclampsia, the numbers are staggering. 500,000 babies die each year globally after complications caused by preeclampsia, and 76,000 pregnant women die. NeoPrediX is on the way to forecast the risk of preeclampsia, and thus you can help us to save mother and child. Last but not least, food allergy. In the United States, 320,000 babies will develop some type of food allergy, normally during the time they hit kindergarten or first grade in school. That's more than 11 million newborns globally. When identified right at birth, such allergies can be prevented. Imagine our grandchildren can enjoy peanut butter and jelly sandwiches again, because together we can make that happen. Now we need your help. The objective is to identify those patients today who will be critical tomorrow, to optimize and personalize healthcare in early life. Our business model is designed to fit into current medical practice. We charge an annual license fee to hospitals for software as a service based on the expected usage per year, and this is $40 per baby in application. Right now, we are focusing on the US market and European markets. The first application, Jaundice, that I showed to you, has been launched late last year in the United States and will be introduced in Europe later this year. And yes, 2 weeks ago, we have signed up our first customer in Florida. We call on hospitals and payers. We have identified the key hospitals in the United States and Europe for an effective rollout. And as many of you know, the benchmark for usefulness is at least 90% accuracy. We beat this consistently in our trials. We can clearly demonstrate our advantage to hospitals, both in medical as well as in cost effectiveness. And this is what a forecast, in this case for bilirubin, will look like. Do you remember what I said a minute ago? This is like forecasting tomorrow night's lottery numbers. Now we know what will happen tomorrow and even the day after. Our patent-protected algorithm has FDA Class 2 510(k) exempt registration. The company has been founded 2020 in Switzerland, with a subsidiary in Germany, where I'm from, and here in the United States. We are already ISO 13485 certified. And we just concluded a multi-center trial in Germany with more than 400 babies. The results will be presented first time next month in Denver during the PAS meeting. Our technology can be used in many medical areas. The platform will always be the same, with seamless integration into existing electronic medical record systems. We are not a one-trick pony. I said that before. We are addressing a global market of $25 billion. With your help, we will be able to offer a comprehensive feature set and see clear advantages to alternative solutions that focus on just one application. This is an experienced team of founders and executives, and we have built an outstanding global advisory board to provide insight and connections. We are here to raise $17 million and have already secured more than half of this. Current investors committed to $8 million, and we just signed a term sheet with a Spanish VC for another $1 million. Now we are looking for a lead investor from the United States to fill up the remaining gap of $8 to $10 million. The proceeds will go into developing the pipeline, clinical trials, and sales growth. This is our second funding. With that, we expect to become cash positive in about 2 years' time. In about 3 years, we see our first exit opportunity to strategic partners. NeoPrediX plays a significant part in achieving the target number 3 of the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations, good health and well-being. And I ask you to invest into the paradigm shift to identify those patients today who will be critical tomorrow, and with that, make sure that every baby has the best possible start into life. Very much looking forward to your questions, and thank you for your attention.